Have you ever imagined what it would be like if one day a fighter jet could fly non-stop from Moscow to Washington without aerial refueling? This scenario, which sounds like something out of science fiction, has recently been brought up by foreign military media. They claim that Russia's Su-34 Platypus fighter bomber, equipped with 3 large auxiliary fuel tanks, could theoretically accomplish this feat. This news has reignited the debate over which fighter jet holds the world record for longest range. But unexpectedly, before the Su-34 could settle into this title, another mysterious fighter from the East is reportedly poised to snatch it away. First, let's explore the Su-34's origins. This aircraft is actually a descendant of the Su-27 family, evolving from the Su-27UB trainer. Originally designated Su-27IB, it was later finalized as the Su-34. Its flat, duck-like nose earned it the NATO codename, Platypus. This is no small aircraft, with a maximum takeoff weight of 45 tons and a fuel capacity of 12.1 tons. Under favorable conditions of light load and high altitude, it can fly approximately 5,500 kilometers solely on its internal fuel, already the longest range among current twin-engine heavy fighters. Recent reports from Military Observer magazine indicate that with 3,000-liter PTB-3000 auxiliary fuel tanks, its range extends to 8,000 kilometers. Flying from Moscow to Washington, D.C. seems no longer just a figure of speech. Of course, this refers to a ferry flight carrying only fuel without weapons, yet it remains deeply intimidating, representing solid intercontinental flight capability that Western fighters simply cannot match. Just as the Su-34 was poised to cement its legendary status, with this 8,000-kilometer peak performance, the narrative shifted abruptly. The same Military Observer website shifted its narrative, claiming this world's longest range title would soon be claimed by Chengdu Aircraft Industry Group's J-36. This J-36 bears no resemblance to existing fighters. It features a tailless flying wing configuration powered by 3 engines. This design prioritizes not only stealth but crucially, high thrust and fuel efficiency. Regarding its actual range, foreign media outlets are currently speculating. Military Observer magazine estimates the aircraft carries over 15 tons of fuel internally, exceeding even the Su-34, enabling extended range without auxiliary fuel tanks. The UK's Aerospace Journal estimates the J-36's maximum takeoff weight could reach 55 tons, with an internal fuel capacity of 22 to 25 tons, giving it a combat radius exceeding 2,800 kilometers. US media analysis suggests that for combat operations in Guam, the aircraft would require a minimum round-trip range of 6,000 to 7,000 kilometers. By comparison, while the Su-34 relies on external fuel tanks to achieve its 8,000-kilometer range, the J-36 could potentially reach that distance solely on its own power. Crucially, the J-36 achieves this while fully loaded with missiles in its weapon bays and carrying combat missions, a stark contrast to the Su-34's record-breaking, unarmed ferry flights. Digging deeper into why the J-36 achieves such range. First, its sheer size. British Aerospace Journal data lists its maximum takeoff weight at 55 tons, significantly larger than the Su-34's 45 tons. This bulk allows massive fuel capacity, with internal tanks estimated at 22-25 tons. The Su-34's 12.1 tons of internal fuel already represents the highest capacity among twin-engine fighters globally, and the J-36 effectively doubles that. Next, consider its triple-engine configuration. Among tactical aircraft worldwide, this truly stands as the first of its kind. Many initially struggled to comprehend it, suspecting it might be a compensatory measure for technological limitations. In reality, however, the triple-engine design embodies unique strategic considerations. The primary advantage lies in balancing thrust and fuel efficiency. For such a large aircraft, a twin-engine configuration would demand extremely high thrust from each engine, potentially forcing them to operate outside their most fuel-efficient range during cruise. With 3 engines, thrust distribution can be adjusted during cruise, ensuring all engines operate at their optimal conditions, resulting in significant fuel savings. The most crucial technology isn't the engines themselves, but the power core system, reportedly an adaptive variable cycle engine. This system automatically adjusts operating modes based on flight conditions, switching to turbojet mode for aggressive thrust during acceleration, or to turbofan mode for extreme fuel efficiency during long-range cruising. Such engines are said to improve fuel efficiency by 25% to 30% compared to conventional designs. Combined with its tailless flying wing configuration, the advantages become even more pronounced. Traditional aircraft feature vertical and horizontal tail surfaces, which generate significant drag during high-speed flight. The J-36 eliminates these tail surfaces entirely, resulting in lower cruise drag than tailed aircraft like the J-20. With reduced drag, the same fuel naturally allows for greater range. Moreover, it flies high, reportedly capable of cruising above 20,000 meters. At that altitude, the air is thin, reducing aerodynamic drag to a fraction of what it is at medium or low altitudes. High-altitude flight maximizes the efficiency of its variable cycle engine. Combined with the tailless design, every drop of fuel is squeezed to deliver maximum range. With all these technologies stacked together, the J-36's ultra-long range is no exaggeration. Foreign media now widely estimate its combat radius between 2,800 and 4,000 kilometers. What does a 4,000-kilometer combat radius mean? Flying from China's coast to Guam is roughly 3,000 kilometers. If the J-36 truly has a 4,000-kilometer combat radius, it could reach Guam, circle overhead to identify targets one by one, then leisurely fly back. It's like upgrading from a security guard patrolling the front door to commanding an entire ocean-going fleet. Why is the US media so alarmed? Because this fundamentally rewrites the rules of the game in the Western Pacific. America has long relied on its island chain strategy, layering defenses through the first and second island chains. But the emergence of ultra-long-range fighters like the J-36 turns the first island chain into an inland lake and pushes the second island chain to the front lines. A recent article from the U.S. Naval War College states that the U.S. military no longer considers either the first or second island chains secure. It argues that research is needed to withdraw main forces to the more distant third island chain, stretching from Hawaii to Samoa. Pondering retreat before a fight has even begun is quite rare in U.S. military history. The J-36's strategic value is also evident in its threat to carrier strike groups. For years, carrier strike groups have operated with impunity thanks to the 1,500-2,000 km control zone provided by their carrier-based aircraft. But the J-36 can launch effective attacks from 3,000 km or even 4,000 km away, effectively piercing this protective bubble. Its belly houses 3 large weapons bays, with an estimated payload capacity several times that of the J-20 or F-35. Its arsenal is extensive. One variant carries the PL-17 ultra-long-range air-to-air missile, estimated at around 400 km range, specifically designed to target high-value assets like early warning aircraft and tankers. Rumors also suggest the PL-21 hypersonic missile, potentially reaching 1,000 km range with terminal penetration speeds of Mach 6. This means the J-36 can engage targets outside enemy air defense zones, striking before adversaries even detect its approach. Beyond solo operations, the J-36's true value lies in integrated combat systems. It can escort fleets of stealth drones like the Attack-11, with a rear-seat weapons officer seamlessly taking control of drone formations with a simple command. These drones can advance to conduct electronic suppression or reconnaissance strikes. This combined approach of manned aircraft and unmanned swarms directly shatters the U.S. military's distributed overwhelming concept. Moreover, the J-36 boasts extended endurance, reportedly capable of 12 hours of flight at subsonic cruise speeds. When paired with Y-20 aerial refueling via hardpoints, its operational radius can be further extended. Of course, the effectiveness of ultra-long-range air combat in actual combat remains to be proven. Challenges like target identification in complex electronic environments, relay guidance for long-range missiles, and survivability under intense combat conditions are all engineering hurdles to overcome. Regardless, the technological direction represented by the J-36 offers new solutions for modern air combat. The transition from passive tracking to actively defining the rules of engagement based on one's own needs and advantages is indeed progressing rapidly. As these new aircraft mature and undergo deeper tactical testing, the skies over the Western Pacific may indeed witness a shift in the rules of engagement. Whereas the focus was once on speculating about the F-22's capabilities, foreign media now speculate about the J-36's potential, a shift that feels quite intriguing.